Hey guys, so welcome to my new YouTube channel entitled Options Angel. If you are wondering what this is about, I have for the past couple of years been learning how to trade options in the stock market, and so this was something that I wanted to start talking about to people just so they can hear a little bit about my journey, see if this is something for them, as well as not just focusing on trading in the stock market, but also like life in general. Hence, Options Angel, because I mean, there are options for people. I know for me especially, for a really long time, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I never seemed to be able to find something I felt passionate about outside of like sports. And I mean, I guess I could have tried to work for like ESPN or something, but I do not like them, so that would have stunk. So a couple years ago, I was introduced to a group on Facebook called the Bullish Bears, and I started to take their courses and study. I spent a year and a half plus just studying and practicing in a paper trading account and learning how to trade options. And it turned into something that I really love to do. I mean, I get excited to wake up in the morning and like pull up my charts and look at patterns and trend lines and support and resistance. And I started like thinking about like, is there something that I can do to introduce this to other people? Because I mean, it's a great tool to grow your wealth and, you know, to have a retirement fund and grow it, and not just to become like rich, but just to have a cushion or safety in a world that maybe it doesn't feel like that's possible. And I mean, I wish that I had known about this when I was graduating high school. I mean, at 17 years old, I'm graduating high school. I was given a lot of gifts monetary-wise, and I ended up with a couple $1,000s. And if I had taken that and invested that instead of doing what I did, which was buy a ton of clothes, spend it on going out to eat and amusement parks with my friends, I could have been, I don't know where I could have been, but I could have been a lot farther along. So this is something that I want to talk to people about and teach them, not necessarily, I guess, teach them, because I'm not like a stock person or a picker or anything like that. This is all going to be up to you, and you have to take the time to decide if that's what you want. And if you do, then you have to be willing to put in the work and study and learn things. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not gambling, which a lot of people sometimes think that it is. It's not. It took me a lot of trial and error, a lot of just time, just learning, and I'm still learning. And so I just wanted people to follow along with that and not just focus on the stock market, but, you know, other things in life. I'm like 30 years old. I work for my little sister, and that was just something that, I mean, it's a great job. It gives me the freedom to do this. I'm super thankful for it, but that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I didn't know, so I was trying to figure it out. I went to school, I got a degree in health science, I was going to be a nurse, but that wasn't something I was passionate about. I was more about having a good income and not necessarily being super passionate about nursing. So I know I would have gotten burnt out. I worked in medicine for 6 years, actually longer. I worked for a surgeon for 6 years. I was in medicine from the time that I moved here in 2006 to 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And by the end of it, I was so worn out by it just because I hadn't had a break, and I didn't love my job. I woke up every day and I dreaded going to work. I dreaded it. I had so much anxiety having to go and work with some of the people, or just one person really, that I did. It was awful. I hated it. So I left. Thankfully, Miriam had a job for me, and I was able to have that break. And then from there, I started studying and taking the courses that the Bullish Bears put out, and from there I even started to submit some blog posts to them for them to upload, and in doing that I learned even more. I mean, people might think that the stock market is gambling, it's a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not. You're more apt to lose your money than you are to make money if you don't know what you're doing. And there are candlesticks, and those candlesticks form a pattern, they form support and resistance, and this is all things that give you tools and keys and clues as to what a stock is going to do. You have to know how to find that. And when I started out, I didn't know how to find that. If I did, I mean, I could have been probably further along, but now that I've learned that, I have opened an account and I'm making trades, and I've won more than I've lost. And the great thing about options is that it allows you to control 100 shares without having to spend the money to control 100 shares, but options is a lot more complicated than just trading shares in the stock market. So I ended up picking probably the most complicated thing that you can do, but I like a challenge, and not to like toot my own horn, but I am smart, and so I like to learn, I like to challenge myself. And when I first started, I was like, oh, this is the worst, I hate it, I don't ever want to trade options. But the more I have a tendency to be a little dramatic, and the more I learned, the more I've learned to love it. And there's so many different ways that you can go with this, and I have a lot of dreams and a lot of things that I think I could do to help people in this, and it's just, I had to start somewhere, and so here I am. I opened up my YouTube channel, I got some social media going, and from there we'll see where it takes off to. But I mean, I want to go to schools and talk to kids and let them know that, I mean, there's something that you can do, and maybe start a camp for kids in need that don't have maybe the resources to do this, and teach them. And you just have to be, I guess the bottom line is, you have to be willing to put in the work. And if you're not going to be successful. Trading is hard. It's emotional. You make a winning trade, you get greedy, and you want to, if you're shooting for $1,000 every trade, it can happen. It has happened for me in my paper trading account, but you got to go with it. Don't be greedy. If you have a couple $100, then take that. You can get back in and make more. If you let greed take control, you're going to lose it. Trust me, I know. And when that happens, then fear sets in, and you're afraid to make trades. And so it's a very emotional thing, and it's something where you have to learn to control your emotions. And I think that goes a long way in life in general, where you can't let emotions control everything that you do. You have to be focused. And so I'm really, really excited about this and the possibilities, and I hope it turns into something really, really like big and helpful and creative, and not just in the stock market, but in other areas of life where maybe you feel like you don't have options, and from this you learn that you do, and you go and you find your passion. And anyways, I hope you guys follow along on my journey and enjoy it and learn something. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at optionsangel, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and just help me grow this into a movement that could change the world. Love you guys.